It is my joy to welcome you in Pastor's Wife Corner. The objective of this program is to encourage you, women in the ministry, to fulfill their unique part in God's plan of redemption. We will talk about here women in the Bible and get lessons to learn. By this time, we will talk about Judas and Bathsheba's in the Bible. In Genesis 26:34 tells us that Esau married Judas and Bathsheba. Judas was the daughter of Beri the Hittite, and Bathsheba was the daughter of Elon the Hittite. Jacob's wives were pleasing to his parents, Isaac and Rebekah, but Esau's wives were not. In Genesis 26:35 says that Judas and Bathsheba were a grief source to them. Talk about a classic case of in-law discord. They were such a grief that in Genesis 27:46, Rebekah said, I am weary of my life because of Hittite women. Big note, Judas and Bathsheba, Esau's wives, were a source of grief to others. The Bible does not go into detail about the behavior of Esau's wives, so we don't know what made them so despicable to Isaac and Rebekah. Of course, it may have been the fact that they were Hittites. But from Rebekah's reaction, it seems that the reason for his disgust was from something other than a difference in ethnicity. Judas and Bathsheba did not believe in the one true God. Throughout the Bible, God always wants his followers to marry someone who believes in and serves the same God, the one true God. Esau disobeyed God in marrying these women. That is why God rejected Esau and chose Jacob. Esau rejected God and had his own values. That is why God rejected Esau and Jacob was God's chosen patriarch. In the Old Testament, they were never to marry their pagan neighbors, only when the spouse also turned to God, such as the foreigner Ruth. In the New Testament, Christians were never to marry non-Christians and be unequally yoked. If they were already married, they were to stay with their spouse. But if unmarried, never marry an unbeliever. The Old Testament reveals many negative consequences to both marrying outside of believers and polygamy. Women, God's standard is and always has been the one man, one woman marriage of two people who believe in the same God. And by the way, no sexual activity outside of that marital relationships. Second Corinthians 6:14 says, "Do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers, for what partnership has righteousness with lawlessness, or what fellowship has light with darkness?" Believers of God of the Bible are clearly opposite to unbelievers, just as light and darkness are opposites. They simply have nothing in common, just as Christ has nothing in common with Belial. Uniting a believer with an unbeliever is essentially uniting opposites, which makes for a very difficult marriage relationship. God will not bless this union, and only curse will result. Destruction will completely happen. All the lineage of Esau later disappear from history. Obadiah 1:18, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it. We all have a desire to love and be loved, but it must be always aligned with God's instruction for a great blessing to come. Remember, true love is of God. In fact, He is love. Jesus is love. Without Jesus, there is no life, no protection, no blessings. Women, God's standard must be followed. Believe in Jesus and to his command. You will be forgiven. God's favor will be upon you. Indeed, I am a pastor's wife. Hope to see you again in the next program. God bless your heart.